Hello, we are making a video. It's a beautiful day today. The realtor is coming over tomorrow. We already cleaned the house. We have to do some more cleaning. And he is going to discuss with us the next steps to take. I'm going to be missing this house. I have grown here in this house, on this property, in this garden, in this forested area, on our own forest, inside of our own forested areas. I have sat and meditated in different places. I've hugged the trees. I have actually helped the cedar trees on the other side of the house. I helped them heal. They had some kind of, I guess they probably had some kind of infection or fungus. They were a little bit struggling, and against all the odds and some other people's negativity, I don't even want to say what they said. I said, no, we can heal this. We can heal this holistically. And we did. I took tree rosin from Douglas fir. I call all of them Doug. One Doug had the one that is leaning way over. So really dangerously leaning over. That's the one that had been used for that swing that people installed, this wooden swing, very heavy wooden swing with big heavy boards and heavy iron chains, and they bolted those chains to two trees. One tree died because of that. What a horror. And the other one, and both of them were young, and the other one were pulled over by that heavy swing, always pulled over. And then the tree could not even grow up straight. So he grew up like literally in this angle. I didn't show it properly yet in the video. Maybe I'll show it another time in another video. How much that tree had to suffer, and then because of that stress, bark beetles got in, rotted part of the bark on one side. On the side where the tree is leaning on towards the bottom, the bark was all infested. The tree didn't have enough immune response, although the tree was bleeding resin all the time in order to protect itself. But I'm not filming you. I'm not filming you. I'm not filming you. You can put it, I'm not filming you. It's okay. The baby dog's gonna take a shower now. And so I took some of the tree rosin that had actually accumulated in this big amounts, humongous blobs of tree rosin on the side of the tree that had fallen underneath the wounds. So I was able to pry some off underneath the self-healing wounds, and some of that stuff was still like clay. It was still soft and very sticky, and I made skin cream with that. And I also used some of that to fill in bark beetle holes in the cedar trees. It's totally different tree species. And I thought, why not, might just as well use that, because that's a universal healing agent. And believe it or not, it saved those cedar trees. And they came back completely. All the branches started to have green needle stuff on them again. I don't know what they call it, but not really needles, but not really leaves. Cedar is kind of like soft material, but kind of condensed material. and all came back alive and glowing green. And yes, there's the baby dog ready to take a shower in the bikini. Yes, he has the bikini on. Yes, he is already in anticipation of taking a nice shower. Oh yeah, let's take a shower today. Yes, you're taking a shower today. Oh yes, you're taking a shower today. That's gonna be nice. It's nice and hot today for that. It's wonderful. So yeah, I do everything holistic. I will never use chemicals that have been created in laboratories. Never human created artificial stuff, chemicals, for anything in the garden or for our health and stuff. So in regards to the fragrance oils, obviously the fragrance oils, peaches and cream, that is not an essential oil. That doesn't, you can't extract that out of this scent out of some kind of plant material. You can't get this out of peaches. So if you made a peach absolute oil, it would smell very different to this here. Probably a little bit in this direction, but obviously not like this. This is an artificial one. But, there are some things we use that are artificial. Plastics, for example. Some things are useful. But when it comes to gardening and holistic healing, I use only 100% whole, natural ingredients that have not been altered or extracted or isolated or separated or chemically altered in any way. Okay, it's very, very important for our health to always keep that in mind. Okay, it's very, very, very important. And I even left some pages, I wrote some pages into a so-called health book, which is a scam that Paul fell for. But in the first few pages, I thought this is a perfect book for this, because I don't want these people even to look into that book, because it's pharmaceutical based. It's a total scam. But I wrote in the first few pages for the new people that will get this house that we did everything holistic. So total 100% organic, biodynamic life cycle. Rudolf Steiner would be very, 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 very happy to hear that a few people, a handful of people, today, it's just a handful of people. I mean, you can count them on one or two hands. The people in the whole world who are living like in this type of complete, I don't know, maybe more people. I hope more people than that. But those people are minute percentage from the world population who are doing 100% full-scale composting, biodynamic growing and living. Okay, and that's the only way to do it. There's no other way. If you want to be healthy, if you want your plants to be healthy, if you want the soil to be healthy, if you want the animals in your garden and your environment to be healthy, you have to live like that. You have to use composting toilets, and you have to put the dung into large trash cans that you have to drill holes into them with a drill motor on the bottom and on the side too, and should also be holes in the lid as well. because the scavenger insects have to go in there. They have to lay their eggs in there, and the earthworms have to get in there from the earth, from underneath. They will go into that. The slugs want to go in that as well. So Paul didn't put holes. That Paul put like the holes are about like half a centimeter in diameter. It's actually not large enough, so the holes should be bigger. The holes should be like 2 inches in diameter, because that would allow at least on the side there should be some holes that are this wide, because the banana slugs have to get in there. So, and they are big. So, and they're not going to fit through those little holes. And we already have one there, out there by the compost. That banana slug is already aiming towards that compost bin, and it wants to get in there. And it's going to be difficult for the banana slug to get in there. Maybe I'll make a video with that banana slug tomorrow afternoon. So if the banana slug is still there, so that would be good. That banana slug wanted to come in the house, was already on the threshold of the side door, and Paul said, "Nikki, you have to come down here, you have to rescue that banana slug." I was in the middle of sewing, and I was like, okay, I will rescue the banana slug. I went down, I said, emergency, 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 emergency. Okay. And then I picked up the banana slug, and the banana slug was actually, they have sort of like suction cups underneath them. It's a suction cup type of slimy undersurface that actually, this is so adhesive, that undersurface, that they can go up on walls, like vertically up like this. Some of them go up on the water tank outside. Some of them are way high, like 8 feet high, up on the water tank. Because I'm not showing you. You have to take a shower now. Yes, Paul is gonna give you a shower. Yes, he's gonna give you a shower. Yes, it's gonna be nice. Yes. Oh yeah. Thank you. It's good. Be gentle with him, okay? Yes, you take a shower. Yes, that's good. Oh, yeah, that is so good. Oh, yeah. I would take that. Be gentle with that. Gentle. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it was very, very difficult to pry that banana slug off that metal, this metal threshold in the door, in the door frame on the bottom. So it actually made a smacking sound when I gently with my hand like this. I don't want to squeeze it too much, and then I pulled it up. It was very hard to pull this up. The banana slug was literally glued to that threshold, and then it made like. I got it off, and then I carried it over to the compost area. There's one part under a young cedar tree. There's always, I don't know why, but there are ground animals that are always making these ground animal earth mounds underneath. And so there's the kaolin earth mound underneath that cedar tree, and that's always freshly dug up from those animals. And I always set the banana slugs onto that bed of kaolin earth, and they like that. And then I pour a little bit water on them. So sometimes when it hasn't been raining for a while and the earth is dry, I'll use that garden hose with the shower nozzle, and I make it rain for them, and they love that. And also for the earthworms, on the other side, there are some very, very large earthworms. There are some like 10-inch long earthworms and as thick as my finger, like this finger, as thick as my finger. This how thick. And they are very sluggish. And I don't know if they're older or something. I think they are older. I don't know how long they live, but I guess the older they get, the bigger they get. So humongous, humongous earthworms that I found under a very rotten table that was out there, like some kind of wheel, like a rotten wood wheel that people used for a table. And that was all completely soft and mush, that entire thing. I could just break it off like this with my hand. And then underneath were these really gigantic earthworms, and I carried them over into the compost area, and I put some of them into the compost container. And then at some point Paul pushed one over, one that was decomposed. So that's what you do. You use one compost container at the time to put the fresh compost in. Fresh, all the poop and everything, the kitchen compost, all of that goes in there, and then you let it fill up all the way, and once it's full, you put it on the side where it can cure, where it can be eaten by earthworms and other all kinds of grubs and maggots, all kinds of beings go in there and lay eggs. And the earthworms, they come from underneath, from the earth. And they love it. And so, there was still one that was relatively fresh. So I put these really large earthworms in that, and they loved it. They absolutely love. I put some water on top. They dug into that stuff real fast, real fast. They literally dove into their food. And they are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful beings. Okay, amazing. And I put them on my hand. I don't have a problem. They have different personalities. Some of them are very, very sluggish. And they just lay there thick and heavy on your hand, and they don't move very much. Maybe if you wait for a while, they start to get curious, and they extend. The tip of the nose, the mouth is kind of narrow, so when they extend out, they become this curious explorer. And they explore your hand and all of that. Most people don't like that, the way that feels. I like it. But then there are some earthworms that are aggressive. I've experienced that at the other house in the compost area. I had one on my hand, and that one was just like and then and I had one of them that was actually like doing this here. I mean, they have muscles, and they're full of muscles, those earthworms, and they work with precision. So the earthworm was mad at me that I had that earthworm in my hand, and he would bow up and then aim with his pointy mouth right in. I mean, that didn't hurt because obviously those earthworms, they're mainly made out of water, and they mainly mucous membranes and some muscles, but they have absolutely nothing hard inside of them. So, but muscles, but very they're invertebrates, so they're soft. And so he would bow up and then aim at my skin like this, over and over and over and over, trying to pierce through my skin, but he couldn't, because obviously my skin is way, 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 way stronger and more condensed and thicker and everything. So no, that didn't even hurt. But I thought, wow, that's an aggressive earthworm. But I wished him the best, and I put him in the compost container. And so then I found some earthworms underneath some logs at the other house that were very sluggish, and then I watched all of that happening there under that log. There were a lot of 1,000 feet under that, and a lot of earthworms together, and I saw there was 1,000 foot that had a different color and like a different, that they're usually like kind of dark gray, but this one was like, this one had like a fawn and beige color. Strange, I hadn't seen that before. And that one, that beige colored one, suddenly bit into the middle of an earthworm that was lying there. And what the earthworm did really surprised me. The earthworm bent up, they can bend in any direction. Bend up like this, in absolute super fast movement, and with absolute precision landed with the little pointy mouse on top of the back of this 1,000 foot. And the 1,000 foot is like this size. And that 1,000 foot, they usually don't bother those earthworms, but this one bit into the earthworm, and the earthworm did not like that. And he moved over and hit that 1,000 foot right on the back. And then the 1,000 foot left. That was very interesting. I observe all of these things. I think it's very, very fascinating what's going on. But this is the only way we can live. That's the only way any one of us can live on this planet. Anyone, okay? This is the only way to live. But only a handful of people live like that. So, and why is that? Oh gosh, I can give you 10 answers for that. The main reason is they are not used to this, and they think earthworms are associated with death or something. No, they're associated with life, okay? They are the epitome of life, okay? They transform dead material into fertile earth soil for a live earth bed for plants. We can even eat that material. It tastes really fresh. It smells fresh. It smells the best, actually. I have cleaned stuff with believe it or not, I have, because this is also, that also has kaolin minerals in it, obviously. You know, the earthworms, they eat the dirt, they call it, I don't even want to call that dirt, it's not dirty, right? So they eat the earth, they eat also clays and stuff like this, and that comes out in the poop as well, mixed with other minerals and other stuff, fresh stuff. And this stuff that comes out of the earthworm, out of the rear end, that is the ultimate kitchen cleaner. It really is, you know. The earthworm poop is a total solvent, you know. If you mix it up into a mud with water, it smells totally fresh, you know, and cleans perfectly clean. There are no bacteria in all of this. They have already transformed the bacteria into the bacteria die actually in this digestion process. So they digest all the bacteria, all of that. They digest all of that, even very moldy, fungi infested stuff, or like black mold, green mold, any kind of mold, stuff that had been on anything, the earthworms will ingest that, digest it, utilize it for themselves, and poop out fresh stuff, totally fresh stuff. So never, ever, ever, ever hurt an earthworm or any insect. Okay. I mean, except for, obviously, we can't have ticks and fleas, but you never, ever, ever, ever use a chemical on that, okay? You have to use a whole natural material. You have to use diatomaceous earth powder, okay, to put on the back of the dog. You massage that in, gets rid of all fleas, it gets rid of ticks, it gets rid of mites, lice, anything, okay, any of that stuff. So diatomaceous earth powder can also be used with some kind of light small duster, to put on the stem on the soil, only on the stem and on the soil of your food plants. But your food plants, obviously, when they start blooming, when they have flowers, then the pollinator insects need to get into those. The ecosystem is a complex world that most people are not even informed about. They take everything for granted. They buy food in the store. They have no idea where that food comes from. So most of the food we buy in the store is empty. That causes severe health problems in the world. Really severe. I would say that's even the number one cause, or that's equally bad to pollution and pesticides. All of this is real. It's a real serious problem. Okay, so pesticides is one of the absolute worst causes, okay, of all the illnesses that are going on in the world, immune problems, all of that, including the C word. And then soil depletion, another one. Okay, so I don't know which one is worse. They're probably equally bad. Soil depletion is a real serious problem. I talked about this several times before. Don't take that lightly. They take the nutrients out of the soil. And the way they do it, this is incidental. The way that happened is because of sewage facility. They call it infrastructure, they call it civilization, right? But this is not how we're moving forward at all. Okay. Sewage facilities, they do everything wrong. Okay. Everything is done wrong. The dung is brought into sewage facilities through flush toilets and underground sewage pipes. Okay, we have visited a sewer plant one time because there was major corruption locally happening, but they haven't even touched the surface of what I would really want to tell all these. They wouldn't listen to. They would never listen to me. I have tried to talk to local legislators about a bunch of stuff, including the waste management. Everything is done wrong. Everything completely wrong. Completely backwards. It is totally not just not functioning, but it's dangerous how people do it. To pump things into a sewage facility is dangerous. It causes soil depletion. So that doesn't mean we have to revert back to outhouses. Not at all. Okay, that doesn't mean we have to revert back in time to the 1800s or the 1700s. Not at all. Okay? So they didn't know better in the 1800s either. They had no idea what was it. But they still don't have any idea what was going on. So it doesn't mean we have to live in any unluxurious way. Not at all. Okay. So, not all of these things. It doesn't mean we have to live in a way like some third world countries are living, where they put sewage on their rice fields. You don't put raw sewage on any kind of food growing soil bed. Ever, ever, ever. Okay, it's a total misunderstanding. This is the most famous excuse that very conservative people use. Oh, we cannot do that. Some hippies, they use raw sewage. Well, if there are some hippies that use raw sewage to grow plants, they do it wrong. Okay, this is not how you do it. Okay, absolutely not. You have to put your dung into the best thing is into a loose, standing, large trash can. I would say the ones without the wheel underneath are the best. Those are also the cheapest. Regular size outdoor trash bin. Okay, you drill holes into them on the bottom. I recommend the holes to be like this, so that the big earthworms can get into that as well. And then some holes around the side, only a few, about this size for the slugs. And then some little holes into the lid, so the rain can also permeate through. Because the wetter that stuff is on the inside, also like nighttime dew. Here we have a lot of nighttime fog and dew, and that gets in also from the top. It's important to have some holes on the top. Paul didn't do that right. He still has to put holes on the top into the lids. But we have lids on them to prevent any smell from getting out, or to not attract wild animals to dig into this. But we've already had some bears come, and they would get into it, but only when you have like kitchen compost in that. And so that's another thing, is for people who eat any kind of animal protein stuff. If you have any kind of food rests for that, I recommend to put that in the trash, in the regular trash, and not put that in the compost. Or if you can put it in the compost, but then you have to put at least a bucket of other soil or like other kitchen compost on top to cover up the smell, because the smell of anything that is animal sludge, or whatever, like eggshells or like bones or something, that smell will attract a bear or other large scavenger wild animals. Bears, they go through people's trash, and that's not very sanitary, of course. The papa dog, our basset hound, has chased away a black bear one time. I was so scared, I thought there was a ghost in the house. The papa dog was fierce. And the bear ran, even though the bear was like way heavier. Like the bear looked like the bear weighed 400 pounds or 500 pounds. Way larger animal than the papa, but the bear was terrified of the papa. And the papa ran and ran and ran after him to protect me. Yes, that's what the papa did. He also tried to protect me from a family of deer out there at night one time. But the papa didn't know that the deer are not, or the bear neither. None of them are dangerous animals. So what are you doing now with that? You can't pry that. Be careful, be gentle now with that. Be gentle. Okay. Yes, be gentle, gentle, gentle. All right, baby dog. He took a shower. Oh, that's nice. Yes. Oh, wow. That is so good. The baby dog. He took a shower. That is good. Okay, that's good. Yeah, change the sheets and put all of that in the washer. Very, very, very important. I guess I have to give Paul some instructions. I'm gonna make part 2.